Hi folks, John Kitts here. Again, I'm not playing anything. I am doing a little demo on what it takes to put a uh, gaming video together. And if you saw the last video, it was all about OBS, which is what you're seeing on the screen here right now. And I showed you how to place some settings there so you can record a video. I did forget to mention that OBS is free. It's a totally free software. It's a little bit hard to learn at first. It has a lot of options, none of which I've shown, or few of which I've shown here. But it is an excellent little piece of software, and it's what I've used to do most of my games in the recent month or so. It was a little bit hard to learn at first, but I got there. And it can be finicky at times. Like right now, a couple of games that I seem to be able to record no problem before, all of a sudden seem to be a lot not working at all, actually. They just, like Gold Rush, the game, for example, with one of the games that I was recording a lot, and for some reason the video just staggers completely. It jump starts one place to the next. You can't really find a setting low enough actually to record it, so I have no idea what happened there. So I'm just putting that in there just to let you know that even though this is a great recording piece of software, it does have some issues. And there are other bits of software out there that you can try, some free, some are demo versions. So you just have to hunt around and experiment if you run into problems with this one. Okay, now, next phase, after having recorded a little bit of stuff there, we will go to DaVinci Resolve number 17. And there is a newer version, 16, that came out recently, and I'm not sure if they've released it in the free version yet because I haven't been able to find it, but hopefully they will, although I can't imagine you wanting to do much more than this one does. Okay, just to start things off, these are some of the recordings that I've done in the past, and these are demonstrations that they put in. One of the big things about this software is they have their own professionals making videos about how to use it, and there's lots of different aspects of it, which I'll show in a moment. And shoot, I forgot what I was going to say about that. Oh, and there's also a course that they put together, a very in-depth course that you can take for recording software, editing software, all of which totally free. So what I have to do to start off with is I click on the untitled project, so double click, and there we go. Now this comes up. So there are several things, and these are the main workflows places here. Right now this one's in video or edit mode. And let me see, what's this one telling us? Fusion. That's the various effects thing, I think. And this one is for adjusting color. For example, if you recorded something that was too dark, you could boost the gamma and all kinds. You can do. It's amazing all the stuff you can do with this program. And then the sound is a complete sound editor called Fairlight, which we will briefly get into. And then finally over here is where you go to piece it all together into one big file and store it where you want to. After that, you go to Google or YouTube and upload it. So, but the first thing we need to do is come here in the media panel and choose the thing we want to work on. And I've got several things set up. So this is the first one, which is the audio or the video, well, there, that thing that we saw before. And this is the one I'm recording now. These are the ones I've already recorded. So let's put that aside for now. Come back over to here. So any one of these files we can use to edit, and doesn't matter which one I pick. Just I want to double check something here. Yeah, there are 3 files, so the third one, we'll pick the third one. This one. So we just drag it down here and we're saying this is the one we're going to work, and it's a different frame rate from the main setting which I have, so we're going to change it to what the default setting is, and it should, there it is, comes into place right here, and you can see it even, I can scroll along and it plays the sound and does all of the things that as if I just started playing it. So that's as far as we want to get there. We want to now go to the edit place, and here's our timeline here. So we're just going to drag this down and put it in place right here. There we go. So now we have all that we've recorded on that particular video, and now we're in a position to edit it. First thing I usually do, however, is I go directly to sound, which is the Fairlight panel. It comes over here. Now if I hold down the shift key, I can enlarge things, and I want to take my time here because it takes time to populate, but it doesn't seem too bad now. So then I press the Alt tab, and that will I don't know how to describe it. It magnifies the timeline so that you can get into very minute detail. Like for example, if I click over here, it shows that. Let's say there was a whole bunch of things going on. I could scroll in very far in depth, and you can see this is the audio here, remember? By getting even really, really close, you can even get between, voice pauses, and if you accidentally said a foul word, you could take it out, and you could also add other effects. Again, I'm not going to get into detail because I really don't know a whole lot about how this works. I just am a beginner. Now, so here's my voice. Okay, let's just hit the space bar. I'm recording stuff. So let's take a look at this file this time. Again. Okay, here I am back again. Here we go. See, that was when I did the recording, and my own voice from the previous recording overlapped, etc., etc. Now I could, if I wanted to get really complex here, but I really don't want to. I just want to give you a general idea of the things you can do. I could take out that little voice thing. I could take all of this out if I wanted to, so that I could cut directly to what it was I wanted to say there without interrupting myself from a previous recording. Other things you can do here, and the point I wanted to get to, see if I can find where it was. Okay, now we're in the game here, right? Oops, back up. That's me talking to myself. Wait, no, I didn't do that. This is the old one. Look at the wrong video. Okay, we got to go later on here. I want to find, bear with me while I try to find stuff that we dealt with. Okay, this is the latest step. Now, alright, so we're back in the game again, and now hopefully you will be seeing that it looks a lot better. Okay, let's say that was the game that we were playing, and the sound of the game was way too loud. So, as I say, we can scroll in quite close, and this little line here is the volume for that particular track. So I just drag that down, and I can lower the volume, which is why I want to come here first, because later on I'm going to be cutting pieces out, so I'd have to go back and adjust each edit. So now I lower the volume, and so now when I talk, I'll be able to hear myself. And we have the inspector over here, so I can click on that, and it tells me how much I've adjusted. Like that one I brought down, it's not decibels, it's sort of a relative scale of how much I've lowered it. I've lowered it by 5.2, whereas the one above was 5.0. So in other words, I can make these, I can get very precise by making these two closer together. So, okay, that's one thing I wanted to show you here. The other thing was, probably, if you watched many of my videos, you know that I have a bit of a lisp or a problem with S's and S sounds. So this has a de-esser with this. So I would find this is the recording of the recordings, but this is my actual vocal track that I was using. So I would take the de-esser and I would bring it down here, and it would pop up, and then I would, depending on the degree of the problem you have, I would just, for example, take the male ESS, which is that, and I would make it fast. It won't explain all that stuff now, and that's fine. I just close that now, and if I'm clicking on this, I'll show it's over here in the inspector. It tells me that's there. Also over here, well, there's a de-hummer, and there's a noise reduction thingy here, which I drag over here. That's if there's a hum in my mic, for example. I could use the de-hummer, or if there's just a background noise I wanted to get rid of. Again, there's a nice little, okay, that's for the, where was it? Yeah, I could just adjust everything for auto speech, plus, if I'm right at the beginning, I am. As I start each video, I always pause for about 5 or 6 seconds, at which point I would click on Learn. Oh, I've already selected, okay, if I was in the manual, I would click on Learn, and then I would press Start. Okay, now we're back again. Except normally I would leave a space. I didn't in this case. I'd find a blank space anyway where there's no sound, and then I would let it learn what a space was with no sound, and it would then eliminate it after that. So it would take that noise out. But as I usually do is I just say everything that's not in the frequencies of a vocal track eliminated. Okay, so, and then I just close that window. Now we have those two things here. So there's, again, tons of other things that you could do. Coming back over to the edit mode, I'm not going to hunt around for a particular thing, but let's say there was some part here that was, I maybe cursed or something. Then all I would do, if I found that particular part, let's go, I don't know how close I can get here. It's not as easy in the edit part to find your way around, so, but I can do that, increase the timeline until I get down close. And then, say the problem I had was right there, I could click on this little cutting tool here, and then I would just click that. There it is, and then I would let it run. Okay, for a little bit. Let's move it forward. Let's say that's where I wanted to cut that out. Again, click on that, and it jumps right to where I want to edit it, and then I click on the arrow again, which select, and then I just click on that. I click delete, and everything closes up. Everything's fine. That's pretty much it. I don't want to go into more detail because, as I say, I really don't have an in-depth knowledge of it, and I don't really want to start telling you stuff to do that is neither possible or advisable to do. So that's the edit tool, a very advanced piece of tool, again, very free, no money at all, and I would highly recommend you jumping in there and getting that tool. Okay, what else? Okay, then what I would do after that, okay, I've already done all my editing. I would save it just to make sure, and then we would jump over here to, what's it called again? Deliver. Okay, so then I would say, okay, I want to make it so it's the most appropriate for YouTube. So I click that, and then I would put the title of what I wanted in there. And then I would say, okay, I want it MP4. And that's all. There are, again, more complex adjustments that I don't know anything about. I'm not pretending to. So you do that, and then you would add to queue. Okay, and so now it's going to ask you what you want to call it. I'm just going to leave timeline there for now. Click save. Okay, and now if we look back at our videos, oh, no, it's saved in another place. Sorry, I was thinking it would be saved there, but it's not. So now I've added it to the queue, and behold, over here, here it is, timeline added to the queue. In this case, I would click on Start Render, and at that point it would take all the little pieces and glue them back together the way you wanted it to. Gosh, I'm now thinking of a ton of other things that this program can do that I could tell you about. But anyway, you would start the render, and it would render everything back to the way you want it, and then it would save, and then it would end up over here. Right now it's being placed in a folder within the DaVinci folders. Yeah, just quickly, what I'm going to show you is, which one was it? Not Fusion. I actually haven't played with Fusion, but there are a lot of effects that you can add. And there's, you can put effects inside of effects, and you could set timelines so things fade in and fade out, and just incredible the amount of stuff you can do. But I just want to do a quick show here, and over here, like say, as I said, let's say your game, you went through a dark area, and you wanted just to lighten that particular area, but then you would make cuts where the before and after parts, and then you can adjust not just the gamma, but you would the shadow and the highlights and all kinds of stuff. Then you can adjust the color scales, the reds, blues, greens, etc. And I think before I confuse myself even more, I'm going to say that's about it for now. So there you have it. The two videos together are the OBS, where we do all the recording, and here in DaVinci Resolve, you can make a myriad. You can just, incredible. I love this program so much. And so if you found this video in any way helpful, please do hit the thumbs up button. And if you want to support the channel, hit the subscribe button. So I'm coming back over here to stop my recording. And until next time, please do take care.